How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another random live stream. My name is Guillaume. I'm a live sound engineer that runs this YouTube channel, the one that you're watching right now. And here I talk about pretty much anything that has to do with live sound, the world of live production, and any other stuff that could be interesting for you if you are in the world of live sound. Today, I'm changing the pace of the channel a little bit. I'm currently want to head down on the Pro series consoles from Midas. Some people call them doorstopper. I think you guys are totally wrong. These are some of the best sounding console out there. Yes, over your Allen & yes, over your PreSonus. And as of right now, because of the time changing, these consoles were released about 10 years ago. They are not that popular anymore, but they are still really good sounding. They can compete with honestly anything that is available out on the market right now. Yes, I'm talking about your Digico, the Quantum stuff. If you like the Midas sound, if you like the Midas DL251 preamp, or basically those are other version of the Midas preamp. Those are the XL4 Midas preamp in a digital box. If you like these preamp, there's not much out there that can beat them for you. Those are amazing digital console. Simple if you compare it to the console that are available nowadays. Feature-wise, those do not have the most features out there. They do not have USB recording. They do not have, you know, the multiple plugins. If your show need to have autotune, this might not be right out of the bat the console that you need. Some people make it work. Some people were making it work back then. But the Pro1, especially the Pro1, is a great affordable option for maybe your church, your local bar. You can get those for a bargain. And because they are old hardware, I will say in quote old hardware, they can be having for cheap. And also because they can be had for cheap, comes the thing that I want to do now. Not moving the console too much, but I want to start digging around into the Pro1. I currently own 3 of these with DL251 and DL231s. And this one is like, I don't want to say the sacrificial lamb, but this one will be the one that I would tinker with. I have 2 other in pristine condition that are currently out on a tour. They're going to stay there for a couple of years. They're going to stay there for 2 or 3 years. And I want to start to do upgrade on these things, like stuff that could be easily done on the cheap. If I really wanted to invest a lot of money, I would get an HD96, and it has all the features and has a cloud and has the. I don't want to go there, but I want to try some stuff that could be really easy done for dirt cheap. Like when it comes time to save a show on these consoles, you have a USB storage here, but because this is running a PC inside of it, I mean a literal PC, it has SATA port on it. Can I connect a hard drive to do a backup of my shows? Can I maybe try to connect a hard drive and run the software in RAID 1? Because some people had hard drive dying on them. This is one of the newer versions. This is running an SSD, but SSD can die. So can I just connect like a spare like hard drive that I can get for really dirt cheap? You don't need much. If I could get my hand on 250 gig or even less, cheaper hard drive, there is a mount in there. There is how do you call PCI Express slot in there. Can I mount maybe a board with 2 redundant SSD on it in there? Can I just mount 2 hard drive with SATA adapter on this thing? We're gonna open it up. We're gonna take a look at what's inside. I actually have a camera with a top view. Can I show it to you guys? I have a camera with a top view, and we'll be able to see what's going on here. I have this angle right here. We're gonna open up the top and we're gonna see what's inside there. And maybe I want you guys to give me your opinion or your idea of what we can do here. Because this is a computer and this is basically running a distribution of Linux. I don't know how much friendly it will be to tinker with, but this is a Linux distribution. So when it comes to Linux, a lot of open source stuff is available. So maybe you guys will have an idea of stuff that we can start to work with on the console. Maybe you guys have an idea of thing that we could try. I want to eventually replace the trackball, or try to replace the trackball with a trackpad. Like if I could put my hand on an old, Mac OS trackpad, just sticking it here outside of the fader, that could be a great idea. Because as much as I like the trackball, I prefer to have a trackpad. I'm a trackpad guy. You can definitely connect a mouse on these consoles because it's a computer running a Linux distribution. So basically, as long as your peripheral is recognized by the computer or that Linux distro, it's gonna work. I have a keyboard that you can see here. I have a keyboard. I can connect this and use only this thing instead of the built-in keyboard that is usually under the console. They have a space in the case for that. There's plenty of stuff that your imagination can come up with to maybe enhance those consoles just a little bit. I had the discussion earlier today to just try to messing around with the software, and before I even try to do this, I can try to maybe upgrade stuff that would make sense. What's up, Greg? This PC stuff, yeah, this is just PC stuff. I bet you can run Doom on this thing. Oh, I can definitely run Doom on this thing. I can run Doom with a Digico SD824 by booting on the second. No, it definitely can run Doom, because I've seen Doom running on a calculator, and this has a fairly cool. This has a fairly good processor for back in the day, and we'll see the hardware. We'll see the hardware. Maybe I'm a huge Diablo 2 fan. Maybe I could try to Windows 98 or Windows XP this thing and see if I can run D2 on it. It will be fun. I still have my install CD and everything. It could be fun to do. Maybe you just gave me the idea to become a viral YouTuber. I'm gonna run Diablo 2 on a Midas console, and that would piss a lot of people off. Or maybe I will finally get a Midas repost. Okay, so let's open this up. And I've done this a couple times. I'm gonna remove the fader surface. There's not a lot of cable. It looks like a fancy thing, but basically you have power here that we're gonna remove. You have another power on the other side for your fader bank. These twos are not used. You're gonna have, which I believe is a USB connector for some device here. Come on, it's hard to do on screen or on camera not using my hand. So I'm gonna remove that cable here, that ribbon cable, which is an IDE drive cable that was probably recycled at some point into this. And I'm gonna remove that USB. This is really a USB cable. If you follow up to the computer in there, this is a mini ITX board. If you follow up to there, it's just connecting to a USB. Same for this cable, which is connected to the trackball. And this one is one of the RJ45 cable that is connecting to the stuff in the back. The stuff in the back is not a computer. Well, it's actually Midas stuff, Midas design stuff. But let me see what's going on here. That's a power supply, and maybe trying to do what I want to do, maybe that's going to be our issue. I don't know how we can get power to this thing. This look like a 6-pin power that you would find on a graphics card, but I'm pretty sure it's not running the same pin out, and it run, you know, extra voltage and stuff like that. Maybe these are connected to something, I don't know, and I'm gonna take my time before I play around with these things. I don't want to break anything here. That's the last thing I would like to do. Now, if you let me bring you guys closer just a little bit, I'm gonna zoom in the camera and we can take a closer look at what's inside. If I'm doing this, it's gonna be good for you guys. There we go. Let me zoom in slowly. Sorry for that. Sorry for the shaky footage here. I'm doing my best to bring you guys in. It's gonna be a hard one for me. Sorry. Okay. Give me 1 second here. And I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna zoom back out just a little bit. All right. Okay. So basically the thing that I want to see, or I want to show you guys, is right here. And I'm going to use my trusty screwdriver, not from lttstore.com, but from iFixit. And we're going to take a look. These are definitely SATA port, which can be used to connect the data signal to something like this drive. This is a Samsung 2 terabyte drive. This would be way overkill, but it would do. Hey, Manowar, I'm back. Yes, and I'm feeling better, by the way. I had a couple health issue, you know, allergic reaction to stuff, and I'm doing good. Thank you very much for joining in, man. Okay, so let me see. What do we have available here? Not much. There is no extra power. This power supply up here. Hold on. I'll bring you guys out just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Let's move the console a little bit. This power supply here is converting from something that is coming from the other power supply up there. Maybe we can take a look at that later. I'm gonna move the fader bank away. This is just the top of the console, and I just remove it. I'm gonna move that in a safe spot. Give me a second here. Okay, so now that I have the console on top here, I don't see many power options available. I could, if I really want to, unplug one of the USB. Probably this USB here that looks like a regular USB, and I can probably put on a splitter there, like any USB splitter, and just get some power out of there into an adapter into the drive. That will be an option, but there's 3 SATA port here. Do we have another M.2? I tried to not put my head in the way. I have another SATA port here. So we have another SATA port here in the bottom of the board. And that's pretty much it for now. Is there any fan? Nope. There is no fan power that I can harness to get some stuff. So we're going to take a moment and we're going to unscrew this thing. We're going to unscrew this thing here, and we're going to see if on the back of the other power supply there is still some stuff available there. Maybe I can find another you know, a ready to go set of power, or a Molex, that would be amazing. If you guys don't know, Molex is an old, when you think about old computer power, it's pretty much a Molex, the old 4-pin that you used to plug all your DVD or CD burner back in the day. If you ever replaced that in your computer, that white 4-pin connector, that was a Molex. If I can find one of these in the back of the power supply over there, and I can adapt it to SATA, there's plenty of space. Like this thing is empty. I could, like, if I really wanted to, I could run an extra server in there. I could run a file server in that thing. I could run, you know, a lot of thing. And there is 110 volt power. So if I really want to be crazy, I could put basically another computer in here. There's literally space to put like three ATX board in here. I could just, you know, move some stuff around, moving a power supply or two, and I could DIY some really cool stuff if there's a need for it, if there's a reason. I mean, upgrading the computer into those things will not give me more plugins. It will not give me more inputs. The computer is just there to drive the console. It's the operating system that talk to the Midas DSP in there, the Midas boards, and they do not allow you to introduce more input, more power, more nothing. So let's take a look. It's funny because I opened up this one yesterday. I had to replace some gain stuff in there, and let me open that up. Okay, what do we have here? Power supply, and on that power supply there is a lot of power. Can I do something like this? This is a ribbon cable that connects the top and the bottom layer together. So I can leave it here and having that here. And can I just fold it? Sorry, I don't want to break anything. Can I just fold this here? Stretching these cables a little bit. There you go. So let me change the view for you guys. That's the back of the screen. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at the power supply, which is that thing right there. I'm gonna use my phone and I'm gonna try to look at what's in there. Maybe there's some empty connectors. I just have no clue what they are. There is 2 6-pin connector in there, and there is, hold on, is there anything that look like a standard power supply? There is a 24-pin or something that looks like a 24-pin here, and there is 3 actually. There is 3 power slots available there. I have no clue. Well, they are under all these cables here and all these capacitors. I have no clue what the voltage is on these, and I'm gonna try to avoid soldering at all costs into those console. But this is a 6-pin. This is a 6-pin male connector, female connector. Maybe I don't have what it takes right now, but I can probably turn the console on, turn the power supply on, and meter some of these connections. Let me take a picture and show you guys. I'm gonna move that out of the way. Is there anything that we can see here? All right, I got a great picture that we can see. All right, do we have a picture? Okay. Looking at this. This is the back of the power supply. There is 3. Hold on. Did I do a video or something? Okay, pause it right there. I have 3 connectors that are empty. These 3 connectors can probably salvage with, you know, checking with a voltmeter what power goes there, and if I can get a 5 volt out of these, I could probably turn that into a power for a drive. But before we do this, can I, or could I, I want to try to see if there's anything available that is standard. That's a CPU 4-pin cable that has been run through there. Sorry, I tried to look. I don't want to film the back of my head. I just want to look if there's anything that is there that is available. The answer is probably no. The answer is probably no. Okay. So let me close that up again. I'm gonna bring this back. All right. I'm gonna bring this back into place because I don't have any power there doesn't mean then I cannot plug in a drive in there anyway. I would just need to figure out how I can connect a drive in there. You know, running an extra power supply could be an option if I don't go too crazy. I can definitely put a PSU in there. I'm pretty sure I can salvage something from the back of the power supply that is already there. I would need to check out the voltage, but there are millions of adapter to go 6-pin to Molex or 6-pin to SATA. I don't think I have any of those in hand. I could probably use just a random power supply cable that I have. I probably have a graphics card stuff somewhere that I could salvage into, you know, making my own adapter if needed. But I want to see how the console will react if I just plug the drive in with a USB adapter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow the connection here that are glued down for some reason, probably so they will not unplug. I just want to make sure that I especially don't pull on the screen connector. This is there's actually 2 connection. There's one that is a display port, and there's one that is on the board itself. The one on the board itself is really fragile, or there's nothing to protect it. So I want to be really careful with that. But everything else is just standard PC stuff. I mean, in there are RJ45. I'm gonna bring the camera down just a little bit. In there is just RJ45 to 2 RJ45s for the connector, one that is running up there, in there, and under that is just standard run-of-the-mill USB cable. So can I gently unplug one of these? Well, actually, if I could follow which one is going to the interface. It's probably these two there that are connecting to okay, abandon the project for now. I have a better idea. Hold on, don't go anywhere, guys. I'm gonna find my adapter for a SATA drive, and there is a USB in the back. So I'm just gonna find that. There you go. So I got the magic adapter, which is basically a USB, regular USB 3 to SATA power and data cable. So it's not going to be full speed, but I could not care less about the speed of that drive. So I'm just going to plug it in. I'm going to plug it in the back of the console, and we're going to take a look at what's happening. Theoretically, I could dual boot this thing. Actually, hold on. Let me grab my keyboard here. And I'm going to try to go into BIOS and see what's going on here. So I will have both devices connected in the back. There is two USB power. So can I function if a delete? There you go. Delete is gonna open up the back of the console, the BIOS, because this is a Linux computer. There is literally just a Linux computer in there. So advanced PCI subsetting. We can have all the information that we want about the computer that is in there. So time is good. Chipset, I can know I have all the information. The hard drive, I have all the information for that. I have the boot, I can select different boot drive. I don't want to quit for now. Hold on. Is there any information that could be cool to have? There's 2 gig of DDR3 memory that could be easily updated. DDR3 SODIMM are the small, small RAM stick in there. Those are available broadly, not really hard to find. And what else can I find? PCI sub setting, PCI Express setting. There is nothing, because there's a PCI slot on the board. I could easily, like I said, run an 8 adapter or a 4X adapter in there, even if I'm running 1X drive. Trusted computing, that's disable. So it run a unsigned OS or one that the motherboard supplier don't care about. IDE configuration, SATA 4 port. There's a 4 gig SATA drive in there. You can see the 4 gig SATA drive in there. I think it's too small for you guys to read, right? Okay. USB configuration, legacy enabled. Alright, USB transfer timeout 20 seconds. Power was okay. Super IO config, serial ports. We're not using the serial port in this one. Hardware monitor. There you go. I have an idea of what's going on here. So there is definitely the voltage that I would require for a hard drive if needed. But the thing is, okay, I'm gonna lower the warning temperature on that one. I want to make sure it doesn't short. The serial. Okay. Serial port. All right. Chipset. Is there set a configuration? On chipset is RDE. I'm gonna leave it that way it is. USB configuration. Ports are all available. There's 7 USB port on that thing. They are all available. Auto HD. We're not using the sound. Ethernet is available. PCIe wake up if I wanted to have a PCI device to wake up the thing. GFX, that will be the video card. No, that's the RAM. 1 gig, 2 sticks. All right. Not much information there. Hold on, I don't want to quit now. Boot. All right. Setup pro timeout. Quiet boot. That's for the fan speed. Customize SATA. Boot priority. I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Gate 820 active. I don't know what that is. Upon request, I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Security, we went into this, and the boot option are there. So, all right, not much there. So we can quit and we can load the software for the Pro1 and see what's going on with the stick in the back. I think it will just boot up. And it will show me the top of the console booting up. Screen resize here. What happened? All right. So MC login. Is it because I don't have the interface in? I don't know what that is. Let me power it off and do a normal boot and see if it boots normally. Or maybe it tried to boot from the drive. I think it tries to boost from the drive. Yes, okay, so let me unplug the drive then. And we're gonna do another reboot. I think the reason it's doing this is if you have a software failure, it will try to boot into recovery mode. Or if not, it's because it just doesn't like to have... No, that was it. It's just loading the software for the Pro1. That's good, that's good. All the DSP chips are showing up. That's good. It doesn't have an interface, but it works. So if I wanted to boot Diablo 2 on this thing, which I don't know if it can run or not, but if I wanted to boot Windows 98 on this thing, I would be able to do so. Something that I can try to avoid the mistake that I'm having right now. Actually, I have my trackpad here working, so that's good. I'm gonna turn it off. And we're gonna go back into the BIOS setting, and I'm gonna try to make it automatically boot on the internal hard drive if it's an option, and if it is, it will allow me to have a internal hard drive, and on that internal drive I will have a couple things. On that internal drive I want to have a copy of the install firmware, because it's been known to some user who had problem. Hold on, let me bring that up, and I'm going to bring up delete. Yeah, okay, we're in there. I want to try to okay, system boot priority became mseta, seta 1, seta 2, seta 3. When enabled, it will replace the original boot option rule, and raid mode will be disabled. Okay, so I'm gonna go first thing to do when playing around with BIOS is save change, save as user default. This is working. I know it's working, and I'm gonna go save configuration. If anything, I can always restore user default, and that should be good. So let's dive into this. What if I go custom SATA and I go disable? Boot option 1, this one. Hard drive priority, there's only one hard drive in there. If I were to put a couple hard drive, it will allow me to have an order here. But I'm gonna go with this, and I'm gonna try to save and restart. Save, change, and reset. If it's booting properly into the OS, I'll be able to boot into the Midas Pro software as usual, and it will allow me to have more drive. And I don't think it will. I don't think it will. Nope. Okay, hold on. Reboot. No, login reboot. If anybody in the know this software and know what it would lead to have MC1, it's probably for Midas Crew 1 or something like that. I'm gonna try that. Opening it up again. What will be the booting menu? F8? F2, F8. I have no clue what the boot options are in this thing, other than delete, which will work pretty much every time. Hold on. Let's go back into BIOS and see if there's any option that we can change. Set up boot, set up prompt timeout 1 second. Okay. Quiet boot. Drive priority. What if I go disable? What will it do? That's just gonna be disabling the drive. Boot override. We can have, yeah, the typical Linux root will be root and password admin. It should be the typical Linux. So let's see. Let's go root, password admin. See if anything happened. Login incorrect. Root password. Incorrect. Or admin. Password. Login incorrect. Blank password? Okay. Root, blank password. Incorrect. What if I go log in, nothing, no, if I just go log in, it's just it. But honestly, I'm not that interested to go in that part of the software because timeout after 60 seconds. Okay, let's go log in. Password. With login and password. Sometimes, okay. Let's go. Midas. Password. Nothing. I'm having a hard time. Like, I cannot Google that right now. But it's probably somewhere on the internet. Like, there are information about these consoles, even if they are not super popular. What else? So there's not much to do here. Let's try another admin. No password. Or do I need the cap? Should I go root and P capital P root password? No. Yeah, oh, this looks fun. I saw later that the BIOS that it runs the SATA as EDE emulation, so that I don't expect to be able to boot from USB drive. Maybe we can try that around. We can try to reboot and change it, because this is a SATA drive. So maybe the original option did not allow for, it would probably run it as IDE emulation, but because I don't need to run IDE emulation, I missed the BIOS here. Hold on. Let's go again. Enter setup. There we go. Hey, it didn't want to enter setup this time. What did I do? Did I break it? No. Hold on. I'm just gonna remove the drive. That will be one thing. And I'm gonna wait a second here. I want to make sure that I have my keyboard plugged in. It's in there. Let's go. And I'm hitting delete. Delete. There we go. I have the BIOS. IDE configuration, SATA port 4. It's there. All right. USB config. Now, where was that? Where did we saw non-security, advanced, PCI subsetting, PCI Express setting? No. PCI Express will be only for PCI Express. APCI autoconfig. Would that... Trusted computing, no. ID, no. USB config. Legacy, no. Super IO config, no. No. Hardware monitor, that's good. Second Super IO config. That's, no, that's not it. Hold on, what do I miss here? Let's dive. No. Trusted computing, no. No. CPU config. No, nothing. IDE configuration. IDE config, there. USB config, no. Super IO config. Plugging the SATA drive directly in the SATA port should work, but not through USB. Actually, I just tried to boot from the regular drive here, which is a SATA drive in there. So, okay, let me reload. Restore user default. Yes. Okay. Things have changed now. Is there a way? SATA boot priority enable. It will load from SATA first, but I don't know how well you guys can read this, but when I have the custom SATA boot priority, it says the system boot priority became mSATA first, SATA 1, SATA 2, SATA 3 when enable. It will replace the original boot option rule, and RAID mode will be disabled. Ideally, I would like to run RAID mode. If I can get, you know, I would not invest into a RAID card to put into this, but if I can get, you know, a USB stick, if I could get a USB hub and drop, you know, glue down a USB hub in here, it would be fun. But I have no idea. Let's now take a look at where would I found? Okay, that's good. Where would I found the IDE emulation? Where would I found the IDE emulation for the drive? That's not gonna be there. That's just gonna be for PCI device. APCI setting. Auto PCI config. Nope. Trusted computing. No. Wake up. No, it doesn't go into. No. IDE config. SATA driver not present. USB config. No. Super IO config. Nope. Chipset. Cell port. Hold on. On chipset type. Let's go AHCI. Okay, that's the only thing that I've changed in the BIOS. Let's go out. Save and exit. Will it boot? Will it ask me for a reboot? It's rebooting. What is it doing now? It's booting into Pro1 software. All right. So that's a plus. That's working. Now let's go again and see if I shut this down. Shut down entire system. Okay. Let me plug the USB again, because that will be my dream, to have just USB in there. I'm just gonna plug my drive over USB in there. It's plugged. All right. We're gonna give it a few seconds, because, you know, it should tell me. Okay, so it rebooted. Let me turn that off. Let's wait a few seconds, make sure this is powering down. And here we go again. What's going on here? What's going on? Is it gonna boot? I don't think it's gonna boot. I don't think it's gonna boot. Nope, it doesn't want to boot into software. Okay. Let me go in the BIOS again. Pressing delete on my keyboard, pressing delete on my keyboard, delete, delete, delete. There we go. We're in the BIOS. Can I now set a boot option? Because that's the only hard drive that I have. Okay. That's boot option number 1. That's been set. It's not on automatic. So, if I save that, maybe that's good. Save configuration and reset. Let's see if I can make it work now. That way, it will also avoid having problem like having your USB stick in the console breaking the load-in time. That's a win-win situation here. I don't think it's gonna do anything. Nope, nothing. All right. So unsuccessful at that level. Just gonna remove the drive. Now it should be booting. If not, we can always go back into the BIOS, but it seems to boot. All right, it's booting. The reason why I really want to do this is I want to have a internal solution for a failure, because I know they're not common, but I know they had happened at some point. So if I can have a backup on hand that I can just grab the keyboard and reinstall the software if for some reason one day the drive doesn't show up, and I can also have a backup for my file, I will be really happy for that. So right now this is a failure, and I try to think, what can I do? What are my options here to get this to work? Maybe another SATA drive you guys suggested. Running a SATA drive, but I still need power. That's the thing. I don't have a power. Maybe you could load up Ubuntu and make a raw DD disk image of the 4 gig internal disk. How? Sorry, I'm not. I'm not so fluent in Linux, Greg. What will be the end result of that? Will that allow me? Because there's nothing on that drive. Let's all be honest. There is absolutely nothing on that 4 gigabyte drive. Could I make a split partition with a reinstall on it? Can I do? Will that be the result of this? Having a partition that will allow me to, like, boot into another. I'm just gonna grab my keyboard here in a second. Will that allow me to have a backup partition of the install software on the same drive? If so, well, that's an interesting option for me then. Because I can definitely bring a drive with me, but opening it up, carrying around a USB key is not optimal. Having something glued down with having a hard drive, you know, double face tape down into this, it would work. DD is just a tool to make a one-to-one raw copy of the disk, bootable code, partition, and everything. Okay, so I'm a Mac OS user. We have a software that is called Carbon Copy for that. It's going to be an exact replica of your drive. So if I Ubuntu this thing, I could probably copy the drive. That's what you're basically saying. Bootable copy of the drive. So, having a bootable copy is not a bad idea. That way, if anything, I can leave it in the doghouse. And if the console don't start up one day, I just plug the stick into this, select boot that drive, and I'm running a show. It's not gonna give me my show file though. That's the thing where I wanted to have, you know, redundant. That's the reason why I wanted to have a backup of that, or RAID, actually a RAID 0, RAID 1, not a RAID 0. I wanted to have a RAID 1 of that because if I have a drive failure, it will be a better option to just having a warning say, oh, one of your drive just died. And dive off a cliff. You should do a backup of your show file RTFN. Okay. So first attempt is a fail. My other option would be to find a power supply, an external power supply, and insert a cable. I don't think I have a power supply at the moment that is not doing anything. So I will need to check that out and do another try again on another day. I probably have a friend or probably have a way to adapt my USB with, you know, power in, power out, SATA adapter somewhere and just make, you know, extract the power out of the connector and make it bootable and plug this thing into the SATA drive on the board. I think it will be an option, but this is a marathon, not a race. We'll see what happened with that. So today's a fail, but we learned something. So that's gonna be it for now. It's not the kind of live stream that I expected to do, but this is what you can expect when you're tuning in into those weirdo live stream. So guys, thank you very much for being here with me and trying to help out. Thank you very much, Greg, for your good suggestion. I will, while I'm there, try to make a copy of that drive. I'm gonna turn down the console and I'm gonna remove the drive and make a copy. I will do that offline and I will do it on my computer. So guys, thank you very much for watching and follow along to know how this thing's gonna turn out. Have a good one.